Tonight, David Carradine's tragic death did his lifelong obsession with bondage lead him down the road to an accidental death? Mike Walters, TMZ, what do you know?
You know what? We found out today that he actually liked to frequent a place called Susie's Delight that was near where he lived. And the interesting thing about that, obviously, is that he did have every piece of bondage that they had in the store, including ropes, cuffs, all kinds of stuff like that. He even had an order that he had ordered and unfortunately never got to pick up, including DVDs and all kinds of stuff, because unfortunately he passed away. Like you said, this is interesting because I think it's still on the table whether or not this is a sexual act gone wrong, whether there's somebody else involved, whether it's foul play, and I think all things are leading towards this was a horrible accident, and of course the life insurance stuff, whether or not this was suicide or an accident. So I think the sex shop stuff and the shopping spree does lead towards he liked that kind of stuff, he was into it, and every month he visited this place.
Ken Seeley, you're the interventionist. Is bondage an addiction, and is it progressive like all other addiction?
It absolutely is, Jane. And my point in all of this is I agree with Gail. Let them rest in peace. You know, if you see these type of symptoms happening, that's when you call in a professional like myself regarding addiction and with alcoholism, sex addiction.
Have you ever done a bondage intervention? Seriously.
Sexual addiction? Yes, I have.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you do interventions not just on alcohol and drugs, but you will actually do an intervention on a sex addiction? That's fascinating to me.
All the time, and the only reason why people don't hear about them is because they are much more private than drugs and alcohol. They don't want that broadcasted all over the media. So these are private situations, but they're illnesses that need treatment. They're illnesses that need medical attention. And so the key is if you see these behaviors prior, get them the help that they need. Get them before it gets to this point, if that is what killed him.
And what do you think, Mike Walters, we got about 15 seconds of all these conspiracy theories that Bruce Lee was somehow involved, or fans of Bruce Lee. He's obviously died in 1973.
Yeah. Jane, that was in the 70s. I mean, I don't think if there was foul play, it's not going to have to do with Kung Fu or Bruce Lee or the movies. I think it could be. They're going to investigate it, but that's also why we did the story and looked into the sex shop thing. We're trying to figure out what happened here. It's unfortunate, so we'll figure it out as soon as we can.
Gotta leave it right there. Thank you, fabulous panel. Before we go, here's one for the road, the latest in the Phil Spector mugshot collection. Take a look at that. Last week, he started his 19-year